Hello everyone, welcome back to another process video here. I am still working through my photos from New York. This is a 6x8 pocket page album and this is the style I'm working with. So I have a 4x6 and two 3x4s. These are the photos that I plan to use. Now, I could end up switching like this if needed for some reason. I'm also considering the possibility of putting in a flip. Just because I think I might want to write something here. If I just leave this alone, I don't have any spot really for journaling unless I were to find some kind of bigger label or get really creative somehow up here in this dead space. So I'm not sure, but this is what I'm starting with. I also have pulled these. These are just some digital files that I purchased, printed at home, and then cut them out. These are, I think they're all from In a Creative Bubble, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. So I might find a way to use those. They're all holiday themed. And while I'm not a big religious person, actually I'm not a religious person at all, I like the pagan stuff that comes, around Christmas here. So I love all the decorations and seeing the lights and those kinds of things. So I definitely want to celebrate that and, talk about how fun it was just to kind of see that stuff around the city. So I think that, these would, well, they would probably work for that purpose. And then I also pulled these. Now the blue isn't the right color here, but there are little white pieces in here, and I thought maybe the stars. I'm not sure. There's a lot of gold in here, so I'm wondering if I'm going to end up having to use gold just to make it match. But there's a little white here, and the sky is kind of whitish blue, so I don't know. I pulled them just to see if maybe I could fit them in somehow. I don't know. I may end up not using them at all. But this is what I'm starting with. I'm going to go through those items. I'm going to go through journaling cards in my stash and some other things and just see where this takes me. So I looked through that little package of holiday themed things that I had, and a lot of it didn't match. So that eliminated a lot of stuff right off the bat. I also noticed, in looking at this closely, this is not white. It's a cream color, so I have to be careful with that. Sometimes I don't mind mixing white and cream together, but here I think if I'm going to use it as an element on its own, I'd probably go cream. Now, having said that, this is one of the elements I had, twinkle lights. The T here is white, but when you place it up against something, you really don't notice it because of this gold. I think it almost gives it a cream cast because of that yellow. So I think I could get away with it here. So I'm going to try just taking this, putting it right here at the top. I'm going to cut off the little part that goes over the edge. Probably just put a mini staple in there and call it good. However, that doesn't fix that journaling problem that I had. So it'll make the photo look cute and draw your eye there, but I still have to figure out, am I going to journal or not? All right, so I did attach that just as I thought I would, and I love the way it looks. So I'm very, very happy with that. So that part is done. Now I'm moving on to these photos. I'm not really sure what I want to do with this guy yet. So I'm working on this one that just has the lights and the trees. And if you've watched my other videos, especially in this series, you know that I have these little cutout phrases here. Again, this is just a digital file that I bought that comes with all of these. I printed at home. I have a Canon Pixma printer, and so I just printed them and cut them. And I found this one. Now, like I said before, I was worried about that cream and white mix. However, when you see this next to this, I think it's fine, whichever pocket it's going to end up in. And really, you don't notice, I don't think, that this is actually cream. It's not that distracting. So I'm going to go with it. If I hate it later, I can always change it, but I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to attach that. I haven't quite decided yet. Am I going to cut this in half? Or at least, between lights and big, because it's a little too long to fit all the way across this span here. So I either have to trim off the edges and maybe lose that little period there, or I'm going to have to cut this and go like bright lights, big city, and mix it up somehow. So I'm going to figure that out, and then I'll be back. I decided to be very careful in the placement, and I was able to fit this in, and it pretty much goes end to end, but I like it. The only problem is I felt like this is like too blank. It's kind of stark just to have this white border and nothing else there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thin gold washi and just tear off a little piece and kind of overlap it on the bottom. And then it'll kind of bridge that gap and not make it look so stark against this. So I'm going to try it and we'll see how it goes. So I did add the little strip of washi and I'm happy with it. I like it. I just think it adds enough so that it breaks up some of that. But when I see these together, it's a lot going on. And so I think I am going to have to find a card and somehow do a flip. And so I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have to find a card that has a phrase that will probably go on top. Then this will be on this side of the flip when it goes up. And then I'll have to have another card in here where my journaling will go. So it's back to my stash again, but luckily I have this whole stash of cards that I keep at the ready, and I have pulled specific ones that I thought would work for New York in particular. So they're all travel related and or New York related. So I'm going to look through there and just see if anything jumps out at me that would go with what I already have. So in looking through all those cards that I have, I found a couple that might go with this. I'm not totally sold on any of them, so I'm trying to narrow down my options here. So I was looking for either the blue that would match this or a yellowy gold here that would match those. So I don't know that I have anything that's perfect, but this is what I came up with. I have this one that just says the city that never sleeps in reference to New York. So that is certainly true. However, you know, it was only like, what, 6 o'clock here, I think, because this was after the Puffs play got out and we were kind of just walking around before we had dinner. So you can kind of see all the lights are on, you know, so it's dusk, but it's, you know, it's not like it's 1 o'clock in the morning and all the lights are on. So I don't know, maybe I'm being too picky, but that's one option. Then I have this one, which is a darker blue, so it matches this better. You can kind of see that's not the same. It's close, but not the same. This matches better, and I like the idea of it. However, I don't know why it's bothering me, but this blue is kind of an aqua or a turquoise, and there's nothing else in here that's that color, and it kind of bugs me. So I don't know. I like the blue and the red because they match, but this is throwing me off. So not sure about that. Then I have two yellow gold choices. I have this one, which is clearly a more strong color statement because it's all yellow in the background, but it works because the writing is red. And it says seekers, as in plural. There were two of us. Time to explore, always on the go. You know, we were on the go, just walking around, seeing what we could see, you know, before dinner. So that's an option. Has a little bit of white in it, you know, so it would bring in this. It's doable. Then I have this one. So this would be the journaling option. And it says wander, let's get lost. Now we weren't lost, you know. My friend who was with me lives in New York. She knows her way around. But we were wandering because we had time. We had nothing else to do really till dinner. We were just enjoying a relaxing walk in the city. So these are my options. I need two. And if I want journaling, I guess I'm going to have to go with this one because none of these have journaling spaces. So that's going to be in there for sure, but will it be on the top or will it be on the bottom behind the other stuff? Don't know that yet. And if I have a yellow, then I guess I'm going to have to pick one of these to be the other option. So I'm going to figure that out and then you'll see the results when I come back. I did make a decision here. I'm going to use this one as the back card. This will be in the flip, of course. And then this is going to be my top card. So I just couldn't make peace with this one. That color was just bugging me, so I couldn't do it. So I decided to go with this one after all. And then this was one of these phrases, like these, that I had, and I just decided to cut it, because again, it was too long here. So I just cut the hello, did it on its own line, and then you amazing place at the bottom. And it's got a little bit of that gold in it, which I thought was perfect. So I'm going to slide these in to the flip. So this one will be on top. And then when we flip up, we'll have this one. And then this one will be in the back here. And I'm just going to slide these all in because you know what? I think that might be it once I get the flip attached. Don't know that I'm going to do anything with that guy. I don't want to overdo it. So if it were to just be this one, it would sit like this. There's the top. There's what it would look like when you flip up. And the back card. So I'm going to look at it for a minute or two and just decide, do I want anything on this or not? And I will attach this and then I'll make my decision whether I'm still working on it or if it's done. I've attached the flip here. So my top card will go in here. There's the second one. This is where my journaling will go. I'm going to do that off camera. And then I added a little bit of something to the top card here. I just thought it looked too blank without anything else on it, so I decided just to do some splattering there, and it's kind of hard to see. It is black, but it has a little bit of a sheen to it, a little sparkle. It is the Heidi Shine, as Adele calls it, the Heidi Swapp Color Shine, and it's just in black. So if you haven't tried this one, if you only use like the gold or the silver or something, try the black. It's quite nice. So this one is done. Now that I've got those splatters on, I'm just waiting for them to dry a little bit before I put that in there. But you've seen how it'll all look. So I'm considering this one done. Thanks for watching.